I've got gallbladder issues. They want to have it taken out. I'm trying not to do that. Okay. I've noticed you said drinking coffee, red wine can help dissolve gallstones. My question is, I don't normally drink coffee with the caffeine. I drink decaffeinated. Does it work the same way? Nice caffeinated. Thank you. My first question would be why decaf? I would ask you why decaf? Because to decaffeinate coffee, the amount of chemicals that they have to put through it in order to decaffeinate it makes decaffeinated coffee 10 times worse for the body than caffeinated coffee.
Switch to tea.
You could.
Yeah. There's not that much caffeine in tea.
And the caffeine is not what does it here, so you could use decaffeinated coffee for this thing. It's malic acid or something of that nature you're trying to soften the stones with if you got them. But you still have to go back and figure out why you got the stone. Mm-hmm. Right? That's really what it comes down to, or why you have the sludge in that gallbladder area. So as a rule of thumb, I get it if you've got some anxiety or something like that, and caffeine gets you real hyped up, or I understand. You don't have to drink. I do understand why people do drink it. But as a rule of thumb, if you're doing it well, it's healthier for me. It's not. Okay? In any way whatsoever, it's not. And the chemicals, again, they have to put through that coffee in order to decaffeinate it are way worse for you than the coffee ever would be by itself. So just a little something to think about there. And, so what do you do for this sort of thing? So for a gallbladder issue, there's a couple things you have to keep in mind. I always work my triangle, that men triangle, right? Men are the cause of all stress, stress is the cause of all disease. All right, you let too many unruly men in your life, and now you got problems. All right, that's cool. So the M side is mechanical. Is there some physical thing that's interfering with gallbladder function? There can be. And there are manual, in my practice with patients, I will teach them a manual massage of the liver gallbladder area, where you literally put your palm heel against it and you rub across the skin surface, and it will sit there and squeeze and gently kind of milk that organ a little bit to kind of get it going. I always use moist heat. I use a washcloth and a heating pad over it to kind of thin that bile out. I talk about that a lot. The nutritional side of the gallbladder, it's almost always a dehydration. The body's pulling the salt out of the bile to use somewhere else in the body. Well, what do you use the salts for? That's what you really want to know, right? Those electrolytes, those salts, what do we use them for? Fight or flight response. There you go. You use them in a fight or flight response. You use alkaline minerals in a fight or flight response. And if your bile, this sludgy stuff that makes your bowels move and helps you digest fat and things like that, if that stuff is real thick, that means you're pulling the salt away, and water always follows salt. Always. It's like when you go to a bar, what do they give you on the bar? Pretzels, chips, peanuts, things like that. Salty things. For what purpose would that be?
To drink more beer.
So you drink more, right? That's the idea. And
not that I'd ever do that.
No. I can't imagine that industry ever figuring that out.
Yeah, really.
They didn't even run an experiment on it. They just got, look, this is it.
I'm willing to be part of an experiment.
Paulie, we need a grant. We need to get a grant from the state of Illinois to see if this is really true or not. Yes. We can have all kinds of fun. I'll even volunteer to help you.
I would be
test.
happy. I mean, I'm sure some Jamesons would be involved.
Absolutely. We can see which ones work better. So as you go through this, the idea is that bile, which is this think like oil almost. It's like a motor oil. This motor oil sometimes gets really thick and sludgy. And when it does, it starts clogging up the plumbing, and then it can clump together, and that's when you get these stones, which are of a cholesterol center, and this hard outer shell, which is usually certain alkaline minerals like calciums and things like that, but it's not the salts. The salts get pulled away, the water follows the salt, and all of a sudden, now you get this dehydrated thing going on, and the body gets in trouble. So that's really what, I'm looking for here. So as you do this, then you think, all right, I got to clean up my diet. I got to make sure I'm digesting fat properly. I'm utilizing it properly. If I do that, I can send that bile back out. I can get the gallbladder back online, doing what it's supposed to do, and it works, and you don't have to have them removed unless there's a massive pathology there, which is a disease of some kind, where it's necrosed and damaged and rotting. All right, pull that one out. But everything else, you pretty much can fix unless a stone gets really stuck, and then it's an emergency and they have to do it anyway. There are times when emergencies occur.